So R.I.P. to Alexei Navalny. You know he liked Rick and Morty and The Simpsons and Futurama. He quoted so much Western media. Here he is, let's see. On February 16th, 2024, the Federal Penitentiary Service announced that Navalny had died in prison in Yamalo-Nenets in western Siberia after taking a walk and feeling unwell that morning. He reportedly died at 14:17 Yekaterinburg time. The prison statement stated all necessary resuscitation measures were carried out but did not yield positive results. The paramedics confirmed the death of the convict, not of the man, not of the person, not of the Russian citizen, but the convict. That's a hell of an official statement. That's a hell of a way to say, see you later, Alexei Navalny. Alexei Navalny is a good family man. He was a good family man, had a loving wife, he's got children, and he just gave it to the Kremlin. He just, spoke his mind. He had a YouTube channel. He was pointing out a lot of corruption. There was a press secretary that had like $1 million watch or some shit. So they made some sort of press statement. He saw the watch. They asked how much the watch had cost. And bam, blammo. Now they've figured out, hey, this person has a lot more money than what they're saying. He would also point out people's houses. He would videotape their houses, and they were officially just saying that they had like $10,000 shanty towns, right? Just little shacks. And it turns out that they didn't have $10,000 shacks. They actually had sprawling billion-dollar estates. And so he went around pointing out a whole bunch of corruption. He went out pointing out a whole bunch of corruption, and he was killed by Putin. Putin killed him. Putin killed him. Putin had tried to poison him earlier, I want to say 2020, and then eventually they got him. And they said, what was the date, 2024? February 16th, 2024. And everybody was pissed off when at first it had happened, right? But the news cycle, right? You're in and out of the news, right? You had an entire life. You fought against corruption your whole life. You was a good man your whole life. You were Jesus Christ on the cross your whole life. Well, not tomorrow you're not. If you're hung on a cross today, well, tomorrow you're forgotten. That wasn't 1 fucking year ago. I don't remember anybody talking about this 1 year ago. That would be the 1 year anniversary or whatever of his. There's something about being a martyr that gives too much credit to your enemies. So he was a good man. Alexei Navalny was a good man, a good Russian who loved a lot of American culture, who was inspired by American culture, who was inspired by Jesus and goodness. Here's another little statement. He says to Alexei Navalny says this: his main gripe with me is that he'll go down in history as a poisoner. Navalny told the court scornfully, we had Alexander the Liberator, Yaroslav the Wise, and we will have Vladimir the Underpants Poisoner. Which, that's funny, right? I mean, that's a little joke. That's a Stephen Colbert joke. It's a John Oliver joke. So if he was in America, he'd be a fucking millionaire. But since he's in goddamn Russia, he gets fucking killed. He gets poisoned. December 2020, it says that there was a Novichok. So he was poisoned by Novichok, a highly toxic Russian chemical weapon which had been smeared on Navalny's underwear. Underpants had become a social media meme in Russia after Navalny carried out a telephone sting in December 2020 on a Russian FSB state security agent who revealed that Novichok, a highly toxic Russian chemical weapon, had been smeared on Navalny's underwear. While it highlighted once more the Kremlin's alleged attempts on his life, it did not stop the court finding him guilty. On February 2nd, 2021, a Moscow court jailed Navalny for violating the terms of a 2014 suspended sentence for fraud. Are you fucking kidding me? 7 years prior? Hey, you did something. Yeah, okay. A case which he said had been politically motivated in the first place. There was a libel suit, too. He said something bad about some vet. Meanwhile, he and his anti-corruption team, all banned from standing in parliamentary elections, were still fighting the Kremlin. This time creating a smart voting app that encouraged voters to back candidates who had a chance of defeating Putin's United Russia Party in September 2021. Yeah, we don't have any pretense whatsoever. We know that. Here, let's listen to.
Большое ограбление в истории России. Они просто украдут все национальные богатства. Их лидер, 33-летний Володя Путин, будущий самый богатый человек планеты, жил здесь. В те времена все было просто, и уровень злодеяний примерно соответствовал уровню этого здания. Владимира Владимировича занимало, как же, используя служебное положение, разжиться хорошей импортной магнитолой. Но в принципе ни методы, ни круг доверенных лиц не изменились. Просто тогда их интересовали магнитолы, а сейчас огромные государственные предприятия. Они сидели на торжественных мероприятиях и зачитывали речи. Просто в те времена они славили дедушку Ленина и клялись в преданности идеалам коммунизма. А сейчас они крестятся в церквях и учат нас духовности и консерватизму. Сегодня мы увидим то, что считается невозможным.
Did you see Putin kiss that photo? Now here's a list of people that Putin has killed. I would say, at least from 2000 and on, he was a military leader in 1999. I would say this guy, I'm not for sure if he has anything to do with Putin or not, but we'll skip over this one and then just kind of read off, or at least try to look at these names just to put it on the record, right? Let's put all this on the record. 1999, you had the Ashimov brothers. So that's 7 brothers who were killed from 99 to 2002. Right? Putin has been in power from at least 2000 on. 1999, he was that general that caused a big massacre, I want to say in Georgia somewhere, or somewhere around the Caucasus Mountains. So, let's see here. I don't know half of these names, so it'd be interesting to actually list all the people that Putin has killed. Ruslan Alekhadziev, right? It's a Chechen. It's a whole bunch of Chechens. Apti Abatayev, Arbi Barayev, Abu Umar Muhammad al-Sayef, Ibn al-Khattab. It's another Chechen. That was in 2002. Turpal Ali Aladiviyevich Atgiriev was a deputy prime minister, national security member of Chechnya. So we really don't like this Chechnya, right? In that the Caucasus Mountains. Aslambek Saipayevic Abdulkadziev. Again, another guy of the Chechen Republic. Another Chechen militant, Salman Radyuyev. Zelimkhan Yaderbiyev, another Chechen writer and politician who was the second president. He did a massacre in Chechnya in 1999. So basically, if you're in Chechnya, you're a radical, right? You're either with the fucking oppressor forces or you're with the regime. So that's a hell of a way. And then tens of thousands were killed. Well, you could see how many of these people are getting killed all over the place. They're saying these are Russian assassinations, right? So that was 2004. Ruslan Gilayev, Germanovich. So another Chechen, a lot of Chechens. So Putin don't like Chechnya, right? He hates Chechens. Now this is Abu al-Walid, Abdul Aziz bin Omar al-Ghamdi, better known by his Namdi Gari. Abu al-Walid was a Saudi Arabian pan-Islamist militant. So Saudi Arabian, finally, somebody different. Okay, you hate the Chechens, Jesus fuck. But here he's, going after Saudi Arabians as well. Although he participated in several conflicts in Central Asia and the Balkans, he is best known for his involvement in the First and Second Chechen Wars. It's all about the Chechen Wars. Mahmoud, how come we didn't give a shit about that? We let Russia just wipe out Chechnya? Why did we do that? Mahmud Hassan al-Hinawi. This is an Islamist militant with ties to the Egyptian Islamic Jihad. He was killed in Chechnya in 2005. Magomed Zagir Akayev, Muslim Atiyev, also known as Emir Saifullah, founder of the militant organization Yarmouk Jamaat, which later became part of the Caucasus Front's Kabardino-Balkarian sector in the Russian-held Caucasus Muslim state of Kabardino-Balkaria, the Second Chechen War. Abu Omar al-Kuwaiti. They said he was suspected Al-Qaeda agent operating first in Afghanistan, later in Chechnya and the wider Caucasus area. Aslan Maskhadov was a Soviet and Chechen politician and military. Even the Saudi Arabian and the Islamic folks, they're in Afghanistan, so actually Ronald Reagan was financing a lot of these Afghanistan Islamist folks. Aslan Khalid Aliyevich Maskhadov was a Soviet and Chechen politician and military commander who was the third president of the unrecognized Chechen Republic of Ichkeria. Rizyan Shidigov, prominent Chechen rebel field commander. Vakha Arsenov, another Chechen. Then you have Rasul Makasharipov. I'm just going to list all these. There's like a whole bunch. Well, let's go scroll down real quick, right? So 21 all the way down to 82. 82. And they don't even list Alexei Navalny. Alexei Navalny, I'm kind of curious. I remember this Yevgeny, Prigozhin. I remember him. But I'm just, why did we turn our back? Even like the Amnesty International had said something about Alexei Navalny. They said Alexei Navalny, was like a political prisoner, and then even Amnesty, they turned their back on something. It was like some reason. Well, when he was convicted of libel, he said something about some veteran that nobody knows anything about. Senior officer in the Ukrainian military. So he was doing executions back in 2017, right? So Maxim Mikhailovich Shapoval. I'll come back to this. There's a quick little list of like 10 right here from Newsweek. So Alexei Navalny, he was 47 years old, right? Alexei Navalny, 47, died February 16th, 2024. How quick people forget. This just happened last year. The Russian prison service reported that he felt unwell after a walk and lost consciousness. At 47, he just died of fucking old age? What was it? The hantavirus, the hantavirus, what was it? Fucking heart attack? Did he even smoke? He's in fucking jail. It's so fucking obvious. He's stuck in fucking jail. They've been trying to poison him for a fucking number of times. He doesn't want him to run on the ballot because he'll know he fucking loses because he's got the people on his fucking side. And Putin doesn't. He's just got an iron fist. And it's kind of fucked up because it makes me think of that one quote. It's like, you strike me down and the people will always remember. No, they will forget. From Gladiator. So Mikhail Lizin, let's see here. He was found dead in a Washington, D.C. hotel room. So he isn't just doing assassinations, over there. He's actually killing his political enemies here. It's kind of like Trotsky. They put a fucking goddamn hammer through his head in Mexico. Mikhail Lizin, 57. He died 2015. He was a former Russian press minister, media executive. He fell out of favor with Putin, faced scrutiny for his wealth, and then just found dead in D.C. hotel room. Official cause of death ruled as accidental blunt force injuries, but questions persist about the circumstances. He beat the shit out of himself, because that's how, if you're going to go out, you do it as vicious and painful as possible. Boris Nemtsov, 55. He was shot dead on a bridge near the Kremlin. His murder remains unsolved. Many believe it's politically motivated. Nemtsov. Why do Russians got such weird names? Was a vocal critic of Putin's government, advocating for democracy, human rights, and transparency. He served as a deputy prime minister under President Boris Yeltsin and later became a prominent opposition figure. Sergei Magnitsky, Boris Berezovsky, Stanislav Markelov, Anastasia Barburova, Natalia Estemirova, Anna Politkovskaya, Yuri Shichienk Ochiikin. Shichiekyo. Oh my gosh. That is a hard. Yuri. So Yuri was a journalist, a writer, and member of the Russian State Duma. He investigated corruption, organized crime, human rights abuses. And then Yuri suddenly fell ill, died from some unknown cause. Some suspect poisoning. Anna Politkovskaya. She reported extensively on human rights abuses, corruption, the war in Chechnya. Her work was critical of Putin's government. Well, shit, her murder sparked international outrage. Despite investigations, the masterminds behind her killing have not been brought to justice. You can read individual ones, but that just kind of helps it limit down to 10. And I guess I don't really want to read all fucking 80 people. Maybe I'll just scroll through and see. I remember this guy because Yevgeny Prigozhin, he turned one of his armies around towards Moscow. So it looked like he was about ready to take over Moscow. And there's a whole bunch of parallels to this. You had the bonus army, and then you had that poor people's army, poor people's campaign in America, where the people, there was that semi-truck. They were going to take the semi-trucks to the Capitol. And then, lo and behold, he was flying in an airplane, and then the airplane either blew up or fell out of the sky. It makes me wonder what happened at D.C. That fucking helicopter was right in front of that damn airplane. And if it's remote controlled, could it have been hacked? Could have been hacked, and then maybe you're thinking that it was the passenger plane that was targeted. Maybe it was the damn helicopter. Maybe it was the Apache helicopter. Who knows, Unless you know the God's honest truth, it all remains speculative. Zelim Khan Kagoshivi. So let's see. Maxim Shapoval. I mean, a lot of these guys seem like they're just kind of all-stars. SBU, so another Ukrainian. Saeed Karakansky Alexander. That's Russia for Alexander, right? Alexander. Yuri Vitalyevich. Rustam Asildarov. Zalim Sheblukov. So this is an Islamist from the northern Caucasus Mountains. Rustam Asildarov. Let's see here. Kabardino-Balkaria. It's a Republic of Russia located in the North Caucasus. Is it a Republic of Russia or is it a separatist region? So let's see. Does that mean the country of origin or where they had been killed? Somebody got killed in Turkey. A lot are being killed in Russia. So you got Emir, Caucasus Emirate. A lot of with the Chechens, man. He just does not like the Chechens. He turned all the Chechens into fucking mafia, mobbed up fucking, right? You either capitulate to a Putin occupation or you goddamn become a fucking revolutionary. You didn't have a choice. It was basically a civil war, like, the American Revolutionary War or the actual Civil War. Former Soviet and Ukrainian militia officer, rebel commander of the self-proclaimed Luhansk People's Republic in Ukraine. He was the leader of the pro-Russian Batman Rapid Response Group. He killed his own guy? Why did he kill his own guy? I mean, that's Arthur Gazev, Abdullah Bukhari, Eldar Magatov, Daka Umarov. Maybe I'll just kind of hover on the ones that we have a picture of, right? You'll actually get to see a face. And I'm not really remembering any of these, but this, basically, fucking 80 assassinations? I just remember, random stories that some guy in the UK was poisoned, and then some guy in Germany was poisoned, and another guy somewhere else was poisoned. He is an underwear poisoner. A Russian businessman and whistleblower who died while jogging near London in 2012, Alexander Yurevich Peripilichny, Ayub Kaladov, Ibrahim Avdorkhanov, Zarbek Avdorkhanov. At least by scrolling through the screen, unless, they take this video down, there's at least some, documentation of all this, and documenting it doesn't really mean anything's going to happen because of it. But it's good to know that, goddamn Putin's killed at least 80 fucking people, and a lot of them have been political opposition. Alexei Navalny, well, he's a good man. He's a good man, Russian native, patriot, and he's a Russian citizen who he talks bad about me. You don't have the Bill of Rights over in Russia. You don't have a constitution, 3 branches of government, just a fucking autocracy, just a dictatorship, just a fascist, totalitarian monarch. They got a fucking king, goddamn Vladimir. Wasn't it that one, what's his name? They called him Terrible, Ivan the Terrible. But it was kind of like, well, Russia was worse because, they're all terrible in Russia. So you need like the most terrible of the terrible. Umalat Magomedov, Sulim, Umar. See, in Dubai, does that mean that's the city he was killed in? Russia, Vienna, Austria. He's even killing people in Austria. Let's see here. Rapani Khalilov, also known as Rabbani, militant leader of the Shariat Jamaat of the Caucasian Front. Jamaat. Isn't there Jamaat? Isn't he running in Canada? Jamaat. What's his name? See. Kura Magomed. Let's see. Russia, United Kingdom, Alexander Litvinenko, British naturalized Russian defector, former officer of the Russian Federal Security Service, Shamil Basayev. Alexander Litvinenko was killed in the United Kingdom. Mavladi Basarov. So even if you get out of Russia, you never really get out of Russia. I mean, fucking Trotsky. Trotsky was one of the original fucking communists. And he got it in fucking Mexico. And why? You had a quarrel. You quarreled with Stalin. But Stalin might have killed fucking Lenin. He's a dictator. 40-year dictator. He's a betraying, the revolution. Stalin betrayed Lenin. Stalin betrayed Marxism. Abu Omar al-Saif, Ahmed Akdorkhanov. There's several of those Avdorkhanovs. See, Russia, Dagestan, I know Ivanov, Vaska, Arsenov. I feel like I've seen this guy before, but maybe it's just he's got that hat, right? What kind of hat is that? Riz Van Chittigov, Aslan Maskhadov, Abu Omar al-Kuwaiti, Muslim Atayev, Mahmoud Hisham al-Hinawi, Abu al-Walid. Alright, we're repeating some. Let's take a look at this list here. We're not going to even say Alexei Navalny's name in public. Yevgeny Prigozhin, right? We all should remember this. That was exciting, right? He's turned one of the armies towards Moscow. Holy shit. I mean, that's, if fucking America and everybody else is scared of this motherfucker, everybody got to suck Putin's dick, then it's going to have to come from within inside of Russia, right? Yevgeny Prigozhin, the head of the Wagner mercenary group, died in a plane crash with the top associates. Sergei, it was after supposedly he had like a fucking agreement, like he was going to let him, he'd give up his military and then just let him retire on a farm somewhere. Sergei Yushchenko, so a veteran politician, leader of the anti-Kremlin party Liberal Russia, is shot in front of his Moscow home. That's like, holy shit. Anna Politkovskaya. That's crazy, man. I mean, you shot one of your own. You shot a woman. One of Russia's most prominent journalists and a persistent chronicler of rights abuses in Chechnya. Politkovskaya shot dead in her apartment building in an execution-style killing. Like, holy fuck. Two men were sentenced to life in prison, 3 others to long prison terms in 2014. But relatives, colleagues, Western governments suspect that Russian authorities will never pinpoint or punish the masterminds of her killing because a thorough investigation would lead too close to Putin's government or the Kremlin-backed leadership in Chechnya. It's interesting that what happened to those men? Are they still serving their prison sentence terms? That would tell you something. Alexander Litvinenko, former Russian security agent, dies in London after being poisoned with radioactive polonium-210. Fucking Putin's a goddamn underwear poisoner. He's an underwear poisoner. And then he tried to kill him, and now he's like humiliated that he's an underwear poisoner. Poor Putin. All he wanted to do was poison the guy's underwear, Litvinenko had fled to Britain in 2000 after accusing the FSB of plotting to kill oligarch Boris Berezovsky. How far are we in here? The British investigation found Litvinenko drank tea laced with polonium during a meeting in a London hotel several weeks earlier with Russians Andrei Lugavoy and Dmitry Kovtun. Moscow refused to extradite them in 2017. The U.S. blacklisted both under the Magnitsky Act. Natalia Estemirova, the body of the renowned human rights activist with bullet wounds to her head and chest, is found in Ingushetia hours after her abduction near her home in the capital of Chechnya, Grozny. Yeah, Grozny. That's where he did that genocide in 1999. He started out with fucking massacring massive amounts of people. In Grozny, what did Grozny or Chechnya ever do to... I got no problems with Grozny or Chechens. I ain't got no problem with any of them. Oleg Orlov, later sued for defamation. Sergei Magnitsky, the whistleblowing lawyer, implicated Russian officials in an alleged $230 million tax fraud. So interesting, right? So if you accuse Putin of fraud of, fucking millions and millions of dollars, 230 millions, then you end up in a coffin. But Alexei Navalny, I would love to know what this fraud case was. I would love to know what he fucking goddamn, spent some fucking money on something and didn't pay for fucking a plastic bag. What fucking fraud? Boris Nemtsov. What murder? February 27, 2015, the reformist former regional governor and deputy prime minister who was a rising political star in the 1990s but became one of Putin's most vocal opponents, shot dead in a gangland-style killing on a bridge near the Kremlin. Boris Nemtsov. Boris Nemtsov. And then that's Steve Gutterman is the one that put this together. He's the editor of the Russian, Ukraine, Belarus desk. And this thing, whatever. Okay, so there you go. Putin has killed a lot of fucking people. At least 80 was listed on this one. 82. Alexei, Navalny wasn't mentioned. So, who knows how many more people he has killed.
Вблизи. Мы зайдем туда, куда никого не пускают. Мы пойдем в гости к Путину. Своими глазами убедимся в том, что этот человек в своей тяге к роскоши, к богатству спятил совершенно. Узнаем, чьими деньгами и как финансируется эта роскошь, и как в течение последних 15 лет дается самая большая взятка в истории и строится самый дорогой в мире дворец. Путин, мелкий сотрудник КГБ, выдающий себя сейчас за великого шпиона, приехал в Дрезден в 1985 году. Вау, разведчик! Ему хочется, чтобы мы так думали. На самом деле рядовой сотрудник даже не секретной резидентуры, а просто официального представительства КГБ в дружественной Советскому Союзу Восточной Германии. Сейчас придворные пропагандисты обожают романтизировать тот период жизни Путина. Владимир